In last video, we talked about components, JSX, and prompts. In this video, we are going to talk about how can we use the images in a React project and how can we handle event listeners. So let's just jump into it. I'll just start my project with dev started. To add in an image here or anywhere, let me just download an image. What I would need to do is drag and drop it to, one way is to drag and drop it to the public folder, the other way is to drag and drop it to the source folder. But if you have the image in the public folder, the usage is different, but if you have in the source folder, the usage is different. I will show you the both. So let's start with first public folder. Let me drag it here. Okay, so image is now in the public folder. So if the image is in the public folder and let's say I want to show the image right under the list, what I would do is I have to say just the image name panda.jpg in a wait project. It could be different for the Create React app. You might have to specify public folder as well. And that's it. You see the image on the top, but usually you don't place your images in the public folder. The other way is if you have the image in a source folder, let's say the source folder, I create in a new folder here, images. I place that in the images folder as well. How can we use from the source folder is by first we have to import the image like this, import, and we can name it anything. As the image name is panda, I'm just going to name it panda, and I have to specify the path images / and then panda with .jpg. You should include the extension as well. Next here, it's not going to be like this. You will remove this. You will remove the curly bracket quotes as well, and instead you will add in curly brackets, and whatever the name that you have specified at the top, you will give that here, and that should be it. So you still see the image. Okay, these were the two ways of using the images, but you will stick with the second way for most of the images. It's not good practice to use that in the public folder. Our next topic would be how do we add event handlers in it. Let's say like I click on button and something should happen. So to do that, I already have a button component. I'll go to the button component, and there are three ways of handling the event listener. I'll talk about all those three methods. First is inline method, and in JavaScript you usually use like this on clicks lowercase, but in React you will make the C first letter capital. On mouse over in JavaScript it's all lowercase, but in React the first letter will be capital of the second word. So you can just make it directly here. You can make it like a old school function as well, but nobody uses that in the React anymore. I'll stick with the arrow function. Arrow, so that means it's a function, and what I want to do is just I want to alert button clicked, just check like if button is working. So I click on it, the button gets clicked. So this was one of the method to handle the buttons. Next is like you can make in a callback function, inline function. Let me add in one more point to it, is like you will use inline functions only when you just have like a small statement, one line statement, then you can go for the inline function. But if you have multiple lines, it's not a good idea to make them inline. Either make a callback function separately and use that, which will be more optimized and reusable. So I'm gonna name it handle click. You can make it with, again, old school function as well. I'm making it with the arrow syntax, which is the most common way of making the functions. And I'm gonna cut this statement from here and paste it here. So how do we handle this function is by, we can do alert. We can call it right here where I removed that, and I can call this function. So this will also work. Let me add in another button. So once I made another button, it started complaining. Why? Is because React starts complaining if it doesn't have a wrapper element. So either I need to add in a div as their parent, like that tells like this is wrapped in a div, or if I don't want any div and I still want these buttons to work, I can make them as empty. They will not be rendered. These empty brackets will not be rendered in the browser, and it is called a react.fragment. I'm going to stick with this one. Okay, the other way is, the third way is, you can just specify the name of the function, okay, and it would still work. This one is working, this one is also working. But what is the difference between this function and this function? With this function, automatically E is getting passed to the function, and I can console log E as well. E, what is E? E is the event. What is event? Click is an event, and all of the properties of the click event will be attached here. So if I go to browser, right click, inspect, so we cannot really see actually the properties in the alert, but we can see them in the console log. So I'll replace alert with the console and click it again. You notice like all of the properties of the event, like on click, or what is the type of it? It was a click event. I did with my mouse. What is the button? Or what is its classes? All of its event, like where it is on the screen, from the x-axis, from the y-axis, and all that stuff. But if I click on the second button, notice like E will not be triggered. E doesn't get passed by default until unless we pass from here E and E, and now I will see the E as well. But this was a one difference, like if you pass it like this, E gets passed by default. And the other difference is like if you want to pass some parameters, like you want to pass in some values, like more parameters, like 12, 13, which you cannot really do with this method. It's just going to call the function directly. So if you have some parameters that you want to pass in, then you're going to stick with the second parameter. So let me just clear this all out. Click on the first one. I see undefined for the first one, but if I click on the second one, 12 and 13 gets printed because I can pass parameters from the second one. So this was a short video on the using the images and event listeners in the React. Next video we'll talk about the states. Till then, have a good time. Bye.